Merlin is one of the most iconic and enigmatic figures of Arthurian legends, representing the archetype of the wise wizard and mentor. His story, rich in mystery and magic, is divided into two main parts: his mystical origin and the crucial role in King Arthur's rise, and his final days marked by love, betrayal, and confinement. From his supernatural beginnings to his critical involvement in the formation of the Kingdom of Camelot, Merlin's legend transcends generations, establishing itself as a pillar of mythology and Western culture. Part 1. Origin and Role in Arthur's Ascension. Origin of Merlin. Merlin, a central figure in Arthurian legends, has an origin shrouded in mystery and magic. The narratives vary, but one of the most popular versions describes Merlin as the son of a virgin and a demonic spirit or a supernatural entity. This extraordinary birth granted him magical abilities from an early age. In some stories, he is the son of a nun and an incubus demon, which would explain his supernatural powers and vast, inexplicable knowledge. Role in Arthur's conception. Merlin becomes a crucial figure in Arthurian legend even before Arthur's birth. When Uther Pendragon, King of Britain, falls in love with Igraine, the wife of the Duke of Cornwall, he seeks Merlin's help to win his beloved. Merlin uses his powers to transform Uther into the likeness of the Duke, allowing him to enter Tintagel Castle and spend the night with Igraine. From this union, Arthur is born. In exchange for his help, Merlin demands that the baby be given to him to be educated and prepared for his future destiny. Mentorship and education of Arthur. Merlin takes on the responsibility of raising and educating Arthur, preparing him to become the future king. He places Arthur under the care of Sir Ector and his son Kay, ensuring that Arthur grows up away from the dangers and intrigues of the court. Merlin becomes Arthur's mentor, guiding and instructing him in various disciplines, including strategy, leadership, and, of course, magic. The Sword in the Stone. One of the most iconic moments involving Merlin is the episode of the Sword in the Stone. After Uther's death, the kingdom is left without a legitimate leader, plunging into chaos and a struggle for the throne. Merlin, in his wisdom, creates a divine test. He embeds a magical sword, Excalibur, in a stone, proclaiming that only the true king would be able to remove it. When the young Arthur successfully pulls the sword from the stone during a tournament, he proves his legitimate royal lineage and is acclaimed as the new king. Ascension to the throne and consolidation of the kingdom. With Arthur on the throne, Merlin continues by his side as an advisor and guide. He helps establish the Round Table, a symbol of equality and justice among Arthur's knights. Merlin assists in the construction of Camelot, the great castle and court of King Arthur, which becomes the center of the kingdom and a symbol of just and prosperous governance. During this period, Merlin uses his powers to protect Arthur and his kingdom from internal and external threats, relying on spells, prophecies, and wise strategies. His influence is fundamental in consolidating Arthur's reign and establishing peace and prosperity in the Kingdom of Camelot. This phase of Merlin's story highlights his importance not only as a powerful wizard, but also as a vital mentor and advisor for the rise of one of the most legendary kings in history. But before we continue, I need to ask you, are you enjoying it? Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming videos and leave your like. Part 2. Final Days, Relationship with Nimue, and Legacy. Relationship with Nimue. In the most well-known accounts, Merlin develops a relationship with Nimue, also known as the Lady of the Lake. Nimue is described as a woman of great beauty and wisdom, often associated with her own magical powers. In some versions of the story, Nimue falls in love with Merlin, while in others, she uses him to acquire magical knowledge. Deeply involved with Nimue, Merlin shares his magical secrets with her, which eventually leads to tragic consequences. Nimue, a discerning apprentice, uses this knowledge to imprison Merlin, often within a cave or beneath a rock, to prevent him from interfering or causing further harm. Imprisonment and death of Merlin. Merlin's end is marked by his imprisonment. After years of advising Arthur and being a figure of great influence in Camelot, Merlin meets his fate at the hands of Nimue. The exact reasons and circumstances of his imprisonment vary from tale to tale, but are often depicted as a form of punishment or precaution against his powers. Some accounts suggest that Merlin, despite his knowledge in magic, cannot escape his final prison. He is left to live out his last days in seclusion, unable to interfere in future events or aid Arthur in his final battles. Merlin's legacy. Despite his tragic demise, Merlin's legacy continues to resonate through the ages. He is remembered as the archetype of the wise and powerful wizard, whose wisdom and magic were crucial to the establishment of Camelot and the rise of Arthur. His teachings on justice, equality, and leadership still echo today in stories and popular culture. Additionally, Merlin is often portrayed as a prophet, able to foresee future events through his mystical visions. His prophecies, such as those involving the fall of Camelot and the death of Arthur, add a layer of mystery and depth to his legacy. Conclusion. Merlin, with his duality of wisdom and tragedy, remains a fascinating figure in Western mythology and literature. His story, divided between Arthur's influential mentor and the wizard imprisoned by love and betrayal, captures the imagination and inspires reflections on power, destiny, and the cost of magic. So, that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.